Hey, all right, we're going to talk about how my thinking leads to eating. But Heather, I hear everything you're saying, but it is a fact that I'm overweight. It is a fact that I am not consistent. It is a fact that I have never been able to track my food. If you throw the words "it's a fact" on the front, if you hear that in your head, it doesn't actually make it a fact. Just because you say it is doesn't mean it's so. And that's how one of our ways our lower brain kind of also tries to come in. It's protecting you from future failure. So if you just accept at the front end, hey, I am just blank, it's a fact. It's kind of like it gives you an excuse pass not to actually do anything. And then you kind of get that permission to keep doing it, and thus you don't have to make any changes, but that also means you're protected from failing, right? So it's this concept. It's like if I had a kid come into my classroom and say, "It's a fact, Mrs. Robertson, I don't know how to multiply my numbers." True, so here's some worksheets, you're gonna learn how to do it. I always tell my kids, if you don't know something, you're bored, I'll find something for you to do. We'll learn this information. It will happen. So because you say it's a fact, you hear that in your head, oh, it's a fact. It doesn't actually make it a legit fact. It just means as of right now, your lower brain has a lot of quote unquote proof from your past that these things have been challenging for you. However, the same lower brain is the one that told you you had to do it that way. So I just did a video on tracking, right? A lot of people, this is one of the facts I hear. It's just a fact, Heather. I've never been good at tracking my food. I've never been disciplined with consistency. It's just a fact. I hear that a lot. The reality is it's not that you can't do these things. It's that the way you go about doing these things does not actually work. And you have to find alternate ways to do it. And instead of trying to do that, we just settle into this is a fact. We hear our lower brain say that. It's just as much of an excuse as it is when your lower brain says you've had a tough day. Go ahead and have the chocolate. Go ahead and have all of this because you know what, we'll just start tomorrow. The it's a fact thing is just akin to that as well. It's just trying to do it on the front end before you even take action. And the other interesting thing is when you say this is a fact, your brain also looks for proof to validate it. So if you say, oh, it's a fact. I've never been able to lose weight. Can barely lose 2 pounds. It's a fact. It's a fact I can't track my food. I've never been good at tracking. Your lower brain goes back into your history to look for all of the evidence to support your fact. It's just the way it works. So if you want to change this, if you're like, I don't want to be a victim of my own factual circumstances that I have created. I actually want to learn my multiplication tables, Heather, because you know what? I am capable of learning. I have a growth mindset. I have not a fixed mindset. I am going to learn these things. But I realize that the approach I'm taking probably is part of the problem. So I'm going to go through a different way of handling this, right? First thing, nix the concept of it's a fact. Unless it's some kind of an encyclopedia that you're referencing, and these are actual legit scientific facts, and even those change over time, it's not a fact. So stop saying that. That's number one. Number two, say, these things have seemingly been challenging for me in the past, but I believe that I am capable of learning a new way of doing it. See, right away, I did a video on this, by the way, what can I do, right? Like this idea of not what you can't do. Don't give your brain that bone to chase of, oh my gosh, yes, she can't do these things. It's a fact. She's incapable of doing these things. Look here, here, and here. I have proof. We don't need that. We don't need that. What we need is, oh yeah, I maybe seemingly have struggled with this thing in the past. Maybe it's the approach I've been taking. Let me try various approaches because I know I'm capable of learning new skills. I'm capable of doing different things. I'm capable of learning. That's where we want to keep you. So you saying, it's a fact, I'm lazy. It's a fact, I'm not consistent. It's a fact, I can't lose weight because I don't have any proof that I've ever been able to do it. That just means whatever you've been doing hasn't been taking you in the right direction. I've seen people, all different walks of life people, come to me with various problems, and I just keep switching out techniques until I find one that works for them. It's not a fact that they can't. It's a fact that they have struggled in the past, but it doesn't mean that they're incapable of changing, learning, and growing. I see that for everybody. I see it for everybody. I don't care where you come from, what's happened to you. There are ways you can change your life to get into a better place. You are not trapped. You are not incapable. As a teacher at heart, I've never met a student that can't learn if they want to learn. And I believe everybody who checks into this channel, everyone who listens to the Half Size Me podcast, you want to learn. If you didn't, you wouldn't be here, okay? So do not listen to your brain say it's a fact, because it's not. It's a fact is actually, it's an excuse. It's an excuse to keep you trapped. It's an excuse to have you repeat the same patterns over and over again just to validate your own argument that it's a fact. You are capable of change. Pick a different method. Stop doing the same thing. Try not tracking your food at all. Try some of these other approaches I've mentioned here on the YouTube channel. Find a different way to give it a go, because you are capable of change. And don't say the words, it's a fact, because the truth is, when you say that, your brain looks for validation to prove it to you, which keeps this vicious cycle going. You have a wonderful day. I will talk to you soon.